Well, it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon and we have come to a beautiful location, as you can see. And to come to places like this, you have to go through certain ghats, twisties, and what you really need is a fun to drive car. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Vipul, and in this video we're going to introduce you to the Volkswagen Taigun GT. Now, before we tell you more about the car and how the car looks, let us tell you how the car drives. So let's go back to the part where we came here and we were driving the car and enjoying the drive actually. Well, it's a beautiful Saturday morning and I am going towards Lonavala, and if you see a smile on my face, that's because of this 1.5 liter TSI engine of the Taigun GT. The 1.5 TSI engine of the Volkswagen Taigun puts out 150 PS of power and 250 Newton meters of peak torque, which is one of the best in the segment, and the only other car that puts out these figures is the Skoda Kushaq with the 1.5 TSI engine. What a beautiful engine this is. And from the time that I have left from Navi Mumbai, it has been a delight to drive. So we've had this car for a few days and we've done about 600 kilometers on it. And let me tell you, if you love driving, this is one of the SUVs that you should definitely go for. At least go ahead and take a test ride of the car, because it will surely put a smile on your face when you're driving this car. Not only on the highway but also in the city, this engine is very tractable, and even in stop-go traffic you can drive on the 6th gear. You can easily amble around 40-45 kilometers and also get a move on when you put your foot on the gas. And that's how tractable the engine is. And you know, it's a very easy to drive car. Now, this is a 6-speed manual gearbox. The gearbox also is very smooth. The shifts are very smooth. You don't have to struggle to find the gear slot perfectly, and it's fairly easy to drive. The clutch action is very light, so you don't have to, you know, even in traffic you won't feel tired. Now, Volkswagen has always been good with the suspension and the ride quality of their cars right from the Polo, and it stays true for the Taigun as well. When you're out on the highway driving at high triple-digit speeds, you will not feel that you are going above 100 kilometers per hour. The engine is very quiet, the ride quality is plush, the handling is simply good, and also the steering, it weighs up very nicely. It just turns the car in the direction you're pointing the steering at. And you know, if you can see, the inputs are very precise. It's actually a delight when you're making those overtakes. And let me tell you, like, this car has really ticked all the right boxes in terms of driving dynamics, if you ask me. And now you might ask me if the engine is economical enough to drive in the city. Now let me tell you, over the last 600 kilometers that we have driven this car, we are getting a fuel economy of between 16 to 17 to the liter on the highways, and in the city it's anywhere between 9 to 11, depends on the traffic, the way you drive. I myself am a very light-footed driver, so I tend to get a little more juice out of the fuel that is there. But if you are someone who is heavy on the pedal, yes, the economy numbers will go a little low. So you can fairly say that the fuel economy will range between 12 and 14 kilometers to the liter if you're doing a mix of both highway and city driving, which is fairly enough for an engine of this size. It's a petrol engine and it is a very capable engine. The 1.5 TSI is a driver's delight, and the engine on the Taigun does not disappoint at all. If you are someone who loves to get behind the driver's seat and just hit the roads on your weekends, this is the car for you. And it is a fairly good SUV in terms of size, the sheer road presence. We had a lot of heads turning whenever we stopped at the signal, and like the design itself is pretty much like the Tiguan. In fact, you can go ahead and call it a baby Tiguan. So in terms of looks, at least from the exteriors, it is looks like a very premium car. It looks like an expensive car. Now this car, the GT variant, which comes with the 6-speed manual, costs about anywhere between 17 to 18 lakhs on road, depending on what city you are in. So for that price, I would say that you do not get a lot of features. Yes, this car does miss out on a lot of features that the competition would offer in the same price range. However, they cannot compete with the driving dynamics that this car has to offer. So if you're someone who simply loves driving, this is going to be the car for you. And in a lot of ways, it is pretty similar to the Skoda Kushaq, and it simply boils down to what brand you prefer. Do you want a VW badge on your car, or do you want a Skoda badge? Because in terms of features, both the cars are pretty well matched, and there are a very few differences that you will find in the Kushaq and the Volkswagen Taigun. So enough about the Kushaq, let's talk about the Taigun, and we're going to give you a full walk around of the car, how it looks once we reach our destination. Till then, I'm just going to enjoy this drive and see you when we get to the destination. Now we have established that the Taigun GT is a very fun to drive car, and it looks like a good car, a premium car as well. Now it has this boxy silhouette that resembles of an SUV. However, what we feel, the space on the inside is not as much as you would want from an SUV. Now let's talk about the exterior first. Now the front of the Taigun is very similar to the Tiguan, and you might even say that this is a baby Tiguan. It looks very similar to the Tiguan Allspace. At the front, you get this twin barrel headlamps and a daytime running light. A typical Volkswagen grille with the GT badging here. This grille here is made up of normal black plastic, while the skid plate, it feels more rugged and it's silver in color. You also get these chrome bits around the fog lamps, which go to the center of the bumper and the number plate. You also get chrome bits on the grille itself, and the Volkswagen logo is also in chrome. Now these fog lamps have dual purpose. They also work as cornering lamps. Now coming to the side, the overall silhouette, you will find that it very much resembles the Skoda Kushaq, because both of these cars share the same platform. You have this nice big wheel arches with plastic cladding here, and within them are these 16-inch alloy wheels, which come with a 205/60 section tire. You have the GT badging here. You also get integrated LED turn indicators on the ORVMs. There is also a small cutout for the indicator light to show up on the ORVM, so that the driver can look and see that the indicators are on. You get body colored door handles. You have a small Volkswagen branding here, and you have these crease lines that go from the GT logo and extend up to the back. You will find these same crease lines on the Skoda Kushaq as well. At the rear, you also get the same 16-inch alloy wheels with a 205/60 section tire. At the back as well, you get the same 16-inch alloys with a 205 by 60 section tire. All the 4 tires are Goodyear Assurance tires, and they offer enough road grip and are very confidence inspiring. Now let's go to the back of the car and see how the car is designed at the back. Now, in my personal opinion, the Taigun looks the best at the rear. The reason for that are these infinity tail lamps, which have been integrated into this black strip, and it gives the car a very attractive look. Below the Volkswagen logo, you have the number plate and the Taigun branding. You also get the GT branding right here, and again a dual tone bumper with a chrome strip that runs across. The chrome extends to the reflectors and below the bumper as well, giving it a look as if there are twin exhausts here. However, the exhaust is right under here. You also get a rear wiper washer, rear defogger, a high stop tail lamp, and a black shark fin antenna. And on the roof, you also get these roof rails in satin silver. And these roof rails are actually functional. You can load up some equipment, or you can put on a carrier there, and it can be useful to carry luggage. Speaking of luggage, let's check out the boot of the car. Now, the Taigun has the smallest boot in the segment at 385 liters. The biggest boot in this segment belongs to the Aster, which is 475 liters. However, this boot is pretty deep and you can carry a lot of luggage. You can easily fit a full-size suitcase along with one medium-sized bag and a cabin bag, and maybe a couple of backpacks as well. And though the loading lip is a little higher, you get this deep space to carry more luggage. Under the panel, you also get a steel spare wheel along with the jack and other equipment and other tools. So it's not an alloy wheel, but it's a full-size steel wheel. Now, if you want to extend the boot space, you get a 60-40 split. So you can just put the seats down, and this extends a lot more room to carry extra luggage. So it's not very flat when the seats are laying down, but you can, however, carry a lot of luggage in it. You also get a boot light inside right here, and also a first aid kit. Under the Volkswagen logo, there is also this reverse camera, the quality of which is not very good, so we'll talk about that a little later. Now, before we get into the car, let's take a look at the key. Now, the Taigun comes with this flip key. Unfortunately, there is no keyless entry, no keyless go. However, you have this lock and unlock button and the boot release button on this key. Another disappointment for Volkswagen enthusiasts would be that the windows of the car do not open when you unlock the doors like it does in other Volkswagen cars. So let's get into the car. Now the door is shut. That's how the door shut sounds. It means that the car is built very nicely. Now, coming to the front door, right at the top you have the lock and unlock button. It's the central locking for all the 4 doors. One annoying part, it's a safety feature, but it's also annoying, is that the doors, once locked, cannot be opened by any of the passengers. The driver has to manually unlock the door, and only then all the 4 doors can be opened. Having said that, let's move on. So you have this nice grab handle over here to pull the door. Since it's a heavy door, a big grab handle always helps. You have the controls for the power windows. You have one touch up down for the driver side only. This is the child lock button and the controls for the ORVM. You have a big space for a bottle holder. You can easily fit in a 1-liter bottle holder. You have the speaker here, and there's a 4-speaker 2-tweeter sound setup, the sound of which is pretty average. The sound quality of the speaker system it's good enough, but it's not the best in the segment. we have seen much better sound systems, or rather heard much better sound systems in other cars in the same price range and the same segment. Now, overall, the door panel is made up of hard plastic. This part right here, this feels pretty premium. There is a soft armrest right here, which also feels very premium. Now you get these red color accents here and across the dashboard. This is exclusive to the cherry red color of the car. On the other cars, the interiors are a dual tone of gray and black. Now let's look at the driver side seat and all the functionality that you have here. Now the driver seat is a pretty good place to be in. It's not the most comfortable, especially for someone with a larger body frame size as me, is because of these side bolsterings. It somehow intrude right here, so I'm not fully cush into the seat here, so there is some intrusion here, so I'm not very comfortable. However, it's not bad. It's not tiring at all to sit in this seat. You can drive all day long. I myself have done about 600 kilometers on this car, and never have I felt bothered by the comfort of the seat. But it might bother some people who have a larger body frame. Now coming to the steering wheel, it's a really nice steering wheel to hold. It has leather wrapping all around it. You get this cross stitching design which looks really nice. The Volkswagen logo, this plastic piece here is also very premium. You get this satin silver accents on the steering wheel. It's a D-cut steering wheel with 3 spokes. Looks really premium, looks really nice, feels nice to hold as well. The horn, unfortunately, not up to the mark as to Volkswagen standards, and we really wished that this had a more powerful, better sounding horn. The steering wheel is also adjustable for reach and rake, so you can get that perfect driving position. Now you get a host of controls over here. Like on the left hand side, you have the controls for your media. You have the volume, up, down, track change and mute button right here. On this side, you can activate a voice assistant, so you can just give commands and the assistant will follow your commands. This button right here controls the MID, so you get a lot of information on the MID screen. The MID is a 3.5 inch display which is very sharp. It has white backlight on it and it looks really good. It has a lot of information. You get information like range, your travel time since you started the car, distance you've traveled, your average speed, the speedometer. You can also set a speed warning. It also gives the oil temperature. Since the car is stationary, it's not giving the reading now, but when the car is running, it will give the reading. You also get the fuel economy. Now this is a real-time fuel economy where it shows up when you're driving the car. This is what it has been since we started the car in the morning, and this is the range again. You can also get audio control data right here, so the track that is playing, and your telephony controls as well. Now you also get 2 gauges. One is for the tachometer and the other one is the speedometer. You also get 2 small gauges for the engine temperature and the fuel tank. You have all the telltale lights as well, and these buttons right here are to set or reset your trip meters, etc. So the Taigun gets a 10.1 inch infotainment screen, and this is one of the best in the market in terms of the brightness of the screen. I can show you that this is set at about 70% of brightness, and still it is very visible in broad daylight as well. You get a lot of features here. You get your audio controls. You have a valet mode as well, so when you're giving the car to the valet to park, you can just switch this on, and a lot of features would not work. The car will only start stop, so you can lock all the multimedia functions by entering a pin, and the valet would not be able to operate any of those. You can also control the lights, so for the instrument cluster, the ambient lighting, the welcome home lamps, and the follow me lamps as well. You also get a few apps like audiobooks, booking.com, ghana.com, and the Sajic navigation system. You can also download more apps through the Volkswagen Play app store. Now this connects via your phone. The system can also be connected to your phone's hotspot via Wi-Fi. It has Wi-Fi inbuilt into it. It also gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can seamlessly connect your device to control your multimedia. You also get your latest trip data over here. It shows your traction control on or off. The traction control can be switched on or off right here. It's very simple and you can do it on the fly. You get fuel consumption data, the time the car has been running, average speed, what is your current trip time, and if you click on it, you get the historical data as well. So a lot of information can be shown on this infotainment display. You can also set profiles for users. So if there are multiple users that use the car in your home, you can set different profiles, and the settings of the infotainment screen would adapt to the settings for each profile. Now coming to the center console, you have these two AC vents right here. The AC is pretty powerful on this car, and you will be comfortable in the summer heat as well. However, one caveat that we have here are the controls for the AC system. Now this is very easy to control once you get used to it, but we really had trouble finding the off switch because it nowhere mentions how to put the AC off. So the fan speed can be controlled right here, the temperature can be controlled right here, but I would have preferred the traditional knobs over this touchscreen because you really need to get your eyes off the road and then you find these knobs and then control the AC. Also, getting the right temperature could be a task because you don't know how much of the drag that you need to do with the fingers. For example, now I went 25, but if I go all the way down, the temperature goes only till 21. So if I want to go lower than 21, I have to come back and push the temperature down. So the rotary dials would have been better. You also get the controls for the defoggers, the air circulation, and you get automatic climate control. With this you can control the direction of the airflow. Now one interesting thing about the hazard lamps is that when you turn the hazard lamps on, suppose you're driving in a foggy environment and you want to make a turn or you want to change your lanes, you give the lane change indicator or the turn indicator, the car will prioritize the turn indicator over the hazard lamp and will show that you're making a turn. Once the turn is complete, it will switch back to the hazard mode. Now the dashboard is, you get a dual tone dashboard, and this cherry red color gets a black and cherry red colors on its dash. This right here, hard plastic, not very premium. If you compare this to the Creta or the Seltos, they have a better quality dashboard setup. And if you talk about the Aster, it has one of the best interiors a bit because the whole dash over here, the whole dash top is covered in leather. So that is like the benchmark in this segment. But yes, the Taigun, not very impressive right here. This part, however, looks very premium. It gets body colored finish here. You also have this carbon fiber finish right here, which looks really nice. And Volkswagen should have used this more on the door pads and door panels as well. It would have really uplifted the premiumness of the car. The side AC vents get chrome surrounds and chrome accents on the knob as well. In terms of practicality, now you have a wireless charging pad for your phone over here. You get two Type-C charging ports. You also get a 12-volt charger, and you get some cubby hole. This probably is for the key. Unfortunately, this does not have keyless go, so yeah, you can store some coins or some other items. Now these cup holders are good enough for cups only. You cannot hold any bottles here. If you can see, they are of a very small size, which should hold a normal size cup for your hot or cold beverages. You get an adjustable armrest, and this is leather wrapped, so it's very premium and it's very comfortable as well. You can get your desired position and for a comfortable drive. It has some storage space inside it as well. It's pretty deep and you can store a lot of stuff right here. Now the shutting mechanism is just goes and sits on the lid like a lid. It does not have any notch or a knob that it could go and stick into. Now the sunshades do not get any illumination here. However, on the passenger side you do get a mirror. The lights are pretty bright in the dark. This switch gear, however, it feels a little flimsy, not up to Volkswagen standards. And this right here is a space for the sunglass holder. However, on this car it's not present. And also, if you see the quality of this roof liner, it's not very good. You also do not get auto dimming rear view mirrors right here. So for an 18 lakh rupee car, I think Volkswagen should have included auto dimming rear view mirrors. The glove box is not very huge. It has space for some documents. It's not very deep either, and it's not cooled as well. So that's all about the front of the Volkswagen Taigun. Now let's hop into the back seat and let's see how are things there. Now, like you saw, getting into the rear seat is fairly easy. The door opens up pretty wide and it's very comfortable to get in and out. Now on the door panel, it's pretty much the same as the front door. You get just a single lever for opening the door. You get this nice door handle which you can grip when you're seated, and if your driver is having some fun cornering, you can hold yourself into the seat. And you also get this control for your windows up and down. You also get 1 liter bottle holders, a nice magazine holder for the seats. Now in terms of leg room, the seat is set to my driving position, and if you can see, I have ample amount of leg room. I can also tuck my feet in under the driver's seat and really relax. However, the incline, it's pretty flat. I mean, there should have been a little more incline, or at least there should have been an option to incline the seat a little more, a few degrees more. It would have been much more comfortable than it is right now. You also get the center armrest with 2 cup holders, and if it's just 4 passengers, you can just sit back, relax and enjoy the drive. Now you also get Isofix child seat mounts on both the seats. It's not limited to one seat like some of the competitors, and the seats are pretty comfortable at the back. There is enough under thigh support as well, and the contouring on these seats, the back seats, are pretty much better than the front seats. So yes, this is a very comfortable place to be in if there are only 4 passengers. A 5th passenger can sit here, but not for long journeys. They're not going to be very comfortable. The floorboard is flattish, unlike other Volkswagen cars which have a big hump in the middle, but here it's pretty much flat. So the 5th passenger can be comfortable, but for short journeys only, because all the 3 passengers behind will be fighting for shoulder space. You also get these 2 lamps if you want to do some reading. Again, the controls for this are also very flimsy. This roof liner, there is a big gap between the roof and the liner here, so I don't know why this is. Maybe the frame is cut out for the cars with the sunroof as well, so maybe that is why there is a gap in between the roof liner and the roof itself. There's a lot of gap which has not been insulated well. Talking about AC vents, you get 2 AC vents for the rear passengers and 2 Type-C USB ports as well. The Taigun also gets 3 headrests for all the 3 passengers. This one, however, is a smaller headrest, indicating that this seat is pretty much for a child and not for an adult. Also, another interesting feature is this 3-point seat belt for the center passenger as well. Now, again, this is a very small seat, so it's best suited for children. So, in terms of headroom also, there is enough space. I'm sitting upright. My height for reference is 5'9", and there is enough room on above my head, even after my spiky hair right here. So people with 6 feet or 6 feet 1 inches should be fairly comfortable. Nice door handles here. So like I forgot to mention, you get these handles on all 4 sides, and the driver side does not miss on these. However, the action is not one of the most premium. It's pretty loose. There's no dampening of any sort over here. This could have been better. Now, the Volkswagen Taigun does make a very solid case for itself when it comes to sheer drivability and the riding and also the handling of the car. It is one of the best and the most powerful cars in the segment, and priced at rupees 17.5 lakh on road Mumbai, it is one of the most accessible car with a 1.5 TSI engine. Even the Skoda Kushaq is priced a bit higher than this variant. And to top that, if you are a driving enthusiast, you are going to love the 6-speed manual gearbox on this car as well. So who is this car for? This car is the most ideal for people who own a Volkswagen GT Polo or a Volkswagen Polo for that matter, and who are looking to upgrade to a bigger car. Now, talking about a bigger car, this is not a very big car. It's not an SUV. You cannot call it an SUV, but yes, it is a compact SUV. You can call it a crossover, and it is a big car for big and comfortable car for a family of 4. 5 if you are traveling with a child. And in terms of practicality as well, you can store a lot of luggage for your weekend trips, for your short vacations, and 4 people traveling in the car are going to be very comfortable. So at the price of 17.5 lakh, I think it's a pretty good bargain when it comes to the overall package that the Volkswagen Taigun GT offers. Now, in terms of safety as well, the Taigun GT comes with 2 airbags and a whole list of other features that you can see on your screen right now. And these are available from the base variant itself. So Volkswagen has made it pretty clear that they are not compromising on safety. Talking about the interiors, however, yes, we did find some cons with the equipment that the car has on offer. We would have liked more features. Because the price tag of 17.5 lakh, it's a premium segment, we would have liked more premium features like auto dimming rear view mirrors. The car misses on features like cruise control, ventilated seats, push button start stop, and keyless entry and go. So yes, there are some features that are missing on the car, but however, if you are someone who loves to drive and you really care about driving that much, you will not care for these features. That being said, it is a pretty good all-round package, and you should definitely go to the nearest Volkswagen showroom and at least test drive the car, because the way this car drives will put a smile on your face. So let us know, what do you think of the Volkswagen Taigun GT in the comments below. If you like this video, if you found value in this video, hit the like button, subscribe to Motoroids and hit the bell icon so that you are notified whenever we post our next video. We will be driving the GT Plus version of the Taigun soon, which is the automatic variant of the same car, and it has a few more features up its sleeve. So stay tuned for that video. Hit the bell notification so that you are notified when that video comes out. This is Vipul signing off. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.